Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TGIF podcast. Thank God it's footy. How's the last week treated you, my bro?
TGIF, welcome back. Good to be back as always. It's been good. It's rolling into the last week of term, which is nice and cruisy. I'm definitely feeling like I'm on my last legs, that's for sure.
Holidays on the horizon.
Yeah, holidays on the horizon. I'm looking forward to that. Get myself in a little bit of darts, a little bit of golf. Try and go and do my, I was going to say annual, not annual, it's quad annual round at Waitak. Get a round up there, and I'm just looking forward to a few sleep-ins, to be fair, and a few days of been out of, a couple of rollovers, always good. But it was good. It was a weekend where I didn't have to worry about a Tigers result. Bank the automatic 2 points off the old bye there, and jump back above you boys. So off the bottom of the ladder, which is nice.
We're swapping the spoon regularly.
Yeah, at the moment it seems to be. Obviously you guys have got the extra bye on us there, but apart from that, we just managed to make our way above you there, which is good. So. But not to be in terms of that for the betting for me this week. Now,
the other way around.
Went in there. I don't know what game it was that I came off with one. It must have been Friday night, I think it was, which would have been, or was it Saturday?
Friday was only the one game.
Who played
Saturday? Dragons Warriors was Friday.
It wasn't that game, so it must have been first game Saturday that I had my bet come off, and I was. Thinking I was going to be in the money there, and you managed to come away and with two there in the end and continue that little rise there at the top. Yeah,
well, you managed to claw it back a little bit last couple of weeks, but no, that $8 profit leaves me about $8 clear, I think it was. We have to verify that with the stats above me. Ex-post, I suppose, is what they say, but that's probably about enough for us. Shall we tuck into a little bit of footy, shall we?
Yeah, I guess the first thing that we need to take a little look at, obviously, Wednesday just gone, we did have game 2 of the State of Origin, and unfortunately for the Blues, they were, outplayed on the evening. Queensland, definitely beaten by the better team there. I think on the day Queensland outplayed them, and not to be for the Blues this time around.
Yeah, exactly. Outplayed was exactly what I was going to say. Out enthused in those little effort areas, and then I also think another factor was they looked a much better coach side. Like Queensland were making plays all night.
I think losing Tommy in what?
Yeah, it's a big,
fourth minute of the game. That changes things up. Having Cookie having to move in there,
having Cookie in the centres, it takes away your two hooker punch, which was your point of attack.
Yeah, I guess that was the whole plan after the game before. That was the game there where they needed to be running Nico Hines on the bench, bring him in, for a bit of back cover.
Or potentially Matty Burton. Seen him play in the centres for New South Wales before. Looks like an untimely retirement for Jackie Whiten as well.
Yeah, could have been slotting.
Could have filled in a couple of times nicely at centre off the bench, but wasn't to be. I guess, like you said, Queensland much better side, even though, as it usually is the case in State of Origin, New South Wales with more possession, more territory, but Queensland with more points on the board at the end of the game through, I guess, better defence and more clinical attack. So yeah, pretty disappointing for the Blues, compounded by the fact there was a couple of potentially sketchy calls early on to get Queensland going.
A little bit of a forward pass thrown in the mix.
Definite forward pass, and that Val Holmes put down was
that's
definitely
right,
a knock on any other year, but obviously with the change in rules this year, they've
that one was a bit dodgy, but yeah, definitely a forward pass thrown in the
they've
mix.
seemed to be
along the
calling
way.
a few more of those ones this year. We saw one very similar fashion on Friday night for the Wires, I think, as well, actually. Where it was, sort of touch and go there. In previous years would have been a clear knock on, but this year they've given the benefit of the doubt that bit more to the attacker. But yeah, I mean, you take away those two, it's no excuse. It's still, what was it, 6 tries to 1, I think, on the night.
Yeah, something like that in the end. Yeah, it was a pretty solid performance from Queensland, and I think really like what you said there, being out-coached. I think you're right. Like they were pulling out some good plays throughout the night, and looked like they'd been a team that had been sort of trading together for a wee bit compared to
New South was a bit more like 4 1-out plays, and then on the 5th they'd maybe like spread it wide, and then the 6th was a Moses bomb most of the time. Like, just it didn't really look as inspired as the Queensland attack, that's for sure. But I suppose it's on to Sydney a couple of weeks' time to try and save face for the Blues.
I say drop game 3, give the women game 3. I heard people
we don't
talking
want to
about
see
it.
any clean sweeps.
I just say drop it. It's a waste of time. Let's be honest. I don't see the Blues winning. I don't think. I think Queensland will probably. I think that they're a professional looking squad. I think they're just going to go out and get the win. But drop game 3, get the women in there, because they had a bloody awesome game. That game 2 was awesome.
Yeah, first game was pretty good as well.
You can't have
really high quality games.
You can't have an Origin decided in 2 games off points difference.
Yeah,
it's bullshit. So I say get the ladies in there, get them to game 3. Tell the blokes to fuck off. Maybe bring back City Country for a game, and they can all, we can have a little mix-up City Country game.
We can see. I don't know. Dylan Edwards might not be from the country. Might be vying for that same City fullback spot that Teddy would be. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see a City Country return.
Yeah.
Scrap game 3. We've got 2 potential options waiting in the wings.
Either the
Definitely that
women get game 3, or bring back City Country, or the little left field option. Throw it out there while we're talking about things to bring into the NRL or bring into the league. I reckon bring back. You said it before. Bring back benefit of the doubt. You said benefit of the doubt, and it made me think. I reckon get rid of the bunker and just bring back benefit of the doubt. Then if you kind of can't really be too fucked off if the bloke up there's going, oh man, I'm just gonna I'm gonna give it to him. Why not?
We're gonna tally up however many.
Every now and again, you'll lose one. Oh mate, it's benefit of the doubt.
Imagine that, losing State of Origin on a benefit of the doubt call.
I reckon there's a few.
That would be hugely conjectural if it was to get to the case. But yeah, bring it back.
Bring it back 100%. I think, if you're going to be whipping out some petitions for getting rid of game 3, while you're at it, chuck that on there as well, I think. Also get the old City Country involved while you're at it. I think that could be quite good. Or maybe even you could go for you could whip something new out, like maybe like beaches and inlands, get the old blokes that are from the fucking outback. I guess, is that the country?
That's country.
That's country. That's country, and cities, beaches, eh?
Well, City Country, it's kind of like,
all the cities are on the bloody coast there, so.
It would be like if there was, let's say US 1 was split into like rural and like city, and it was just like, if you were from fucking North Shore through to like Central South, it's just lucky you played in the city, whereas like if you're rural,
you're out in that fucking WAP, so yeah.
It's a bit more fucking travel between games and shit, I suppose, out there in the country fucking rugby league, but
getting on the old bus.
Yeah,
You reckon?
potentially.
Team bus.
I've never actually been in a country rugby league team, so would have to get someone.
I've never even.
Do you get the buses involved?
Yeah.
When you
I've never even been to the Aussie country.
So the city lads rock up in their own cars, and the country lads rock up on the team bus. Reach out, voice message, however you want to get in touch with us. Just let us know. What's the haps there? How many team buses are rolling out in the country?
What's the ratio of country teams pulling up to away games in buses compared to their own cars? And the same with city. Do the city lads rock up in their own cars? We want to see the ratio of that compared to coming in on the team bus. It seems probably like a little bit more of a country related thing to be doing. I think, a little bit more team morale maybe from those lads out there.
Big bus trip, couple hours on the bus.
But then also that really big chance, the lads out there, they could live a couple hours away from each other. And those city boys, you're in a suburban area and you might have your spine living all on the same street. Imagine that.
What about, I was just thinking, you might be out in the country, big long drive. But the poor city blokes, if they're struggling to hit 20 k's an hour, might be just as much use of them getting in a bus.
Get in the bus lane.
Yeah. First of all, for the use of the bus lanes, shave a bit of time off.
Yeah.
But then just extra bonding time while they're sitting in fucking traffic.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea. I'm sure the traffic, in the cities over there, got not as bad as Auckland, but worse. Better?
Sydney's probably worse than Auckland.
You wouldn't want to be driving around the city town, I don't think.
Main areas are way worse than Auckland.
It's got to be worse than the city, yeah. You wouldn't want to be driving around there, but out in the old fucking suburbs.
Yeah, fucking knows.
Where were we? Lane Cove.
Lane Cove.
Driving around there, if you're going up to a game at Lane Cove Park, surely you're sweet just to take the old Nissan down.
Yeah. I don't have a Nissan, but...
If you got a Nissan and you're over in Lane Cove, roll on down.
Next time we're in Lane Cove, we'll be looking for a Nissan.
Yep, we'll be out and about. But I guess that probably brings us on to a little bit of Team of the Week action then, from that little segue there. Now, we did have other footy on over the weekend. We did have NRL action. We did manage to get a Team of the Week in there. We start off, it's kind of thrown me here seeing these blokes highlighted. I feel like we need to talk about them for a certain reason.
No, they're just highlighted.
I chose them, but it's just kind of thrown me. But at the one, Scotty Drinkwater, obviously part of that huge win there up against the Bunnies for the Cowboys over on the weekend, and another really solid performance for him.
Yeah, he's looking really good. Particularly in recent weeks there. Old Scotty Drinks at the back for the Cows, making their mid to late season charge up the table, which I suppose it's a better time to have form than early on in the season. But
you definitely want to be making your charge.
If you can have form all year long,
if you're having a
charge
and a slump, ideally you've got a valley rather than a mountain, I'd say.
Yeah.
Mountains,
you don't want to be falling off the mountain.
You don't want to be on the decline near the end of the season at all.
Not at all.
Coming in hot, ideally. And a couple of dudes who are coming in hot at the moment, taking those winging positions. DWZ, Tini Zalesniak there on one wing, obviously bagging himself 4 on the weekend.
Yep, not just making his way in off the back of his double-barreled last name.
Yeah, and not just
performance alone got him in there.
I'd say the hair could nearly get him in there. Looking very good at the moment with that.
That's a good do.
That's a very good do. Natural as well. No perm involved. But he's in there. He's taken one wing spot, and another bloke who's in some pretty good try-scoring form at the moment, Xavier Coates, taking that other wing spot there.
Yep. Pretty good try-scoring form. Believe he bagged, 1 or 2 as well on Wednesday night as well. For Queensland. At least 1.
2, I think.
2 for him, 2 for Holmes as well. But yeah, that leads us into Val Holmes makes his way into our team in one of those centre spots after, not only a huge performance in Origin, but backed it up for the Cows there as well with another couple of meaties to give him nearly 40 points for the week, which not a bad week out when you're playing a couple of games of footy.
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. And joined there in the centres by a man who sort of can pop up all over the league park. He could be, he could slot his way into a few positions in this team of the week. But Peachey playing in that, obviously, I don't want to say depleted, rested squad there on the weekend.
Well, you listen to what Christian Welch and Bellamy.
Yeah, what did
Not
they?
really Bellamy had to say about it, but
Who's he named this weekend? Penrith.
Christian Welch decided to
Oh, he was bagging them, eh?
bag the Penrith team, but they've got their big names back by the looks
Yeah,
of
they're
it.
all back.
To'oyo, Luai, Martin and Crichton all into the side.
Yeah.
Done
in.
So yeah,
Absolutely done in.
Christian Walsh, he'll be a little bit less confident this week, or whenever it is they come up against
This weekend,
yeah,
that's for this weekend, yeah. Because that's what I was saying. Does Cleary just give the lads another week and say, you boys go out there and fucking
Tyrone Peachey and Co.
Yeah, the old what do you want to call them? The old
Reggie's.
Yeah, I didn't really have anything I was going for there.
No disrespect.
But
to
yeah,
the lads.
I'm quite down on Peachey and Co. We could just Peachey and Co. Yeah, I thought they might get involved again, but good on them.
Sounds like a good landscaping company.
Peachey and Co. Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, some sort of tradesman may probably go. Did we go to were those blokes that played? Nah, Peach. Is that their last name from school?
There was a dude at school, what was his name? Jared Peach?
Yeah, and he had the brother, and he played rugby down at North Shore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember his
Jared,
name.
he was mates with Kahu and stuff.
Yeah. Not Peachey. Peach.
Yeah, just Peach.
Yeah, I don't think we know him, Peachey. We do now, I guess. Now he's involved in the TGA Team of the Week debut.
Welcome.
I believe so. Yeah, we know him now. Moving on to those halves.
Yep.
Like we just named before, talking about the old early retirement there. Jackie Whiten takes that 6 and joined there by a bloke I'm sure many Warriors fans will be hoping won't be retiring anytime soon. Shawnee Johnson, saw him getting interviewed after the game there by Gal, or it might actually have been somebody else getting interviewed at that stage, and he's standing there tensing away, looking jacked at what, 34, 33?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe 32, 33, not that old.
30s.
Early 30s, he's not.
30s though, 30s.
It's a good age for a halfback.
Yeah, but
to be fair.
30s,
It's not as promising as your 20s.
Not as promising as your 20s, not at all.
In terms of a footy career.
It's not where you want to be starting off, that's for sure. You start off your footy career at 30, and that's unlucky, but definitely not the case for that man there. As he shout out to, I can't remember who it was, if it was Fred or Collins, but one of them called us out, I believe, early on in the season, for not really, shouting out the Warriors, not shouting out Shaun Johnson for how they were playing. It's one of those two, I think. So there you are, lads. He's got involved now for a few weeks now, I believe. He must have 3 or 4 appearances in the team, I think. But that's your back line. Now, moving into the 4-pack, I think we had 4 one week, but I was going to say this has got to be probably a close shot for second for most double barrel appearances in the team of the week.
It's another triple double.
Yeah, triple double. We've managed to get 2 in there in the propping roles. One of those men being AFB seems to be the new Payne Haas in terms of being in there week in, week out. And he's joined there by Big Nas. Obviously didn't play in the propping role on the weekend there, but he's a big bloke, a big boy. Plays
huge.
He's a prop.
He's huge, and when he
You
can
might
move
not
like that,
you might not think he's a prop, yeah, when he's moving like that.
and he can chuck on a right foot, reminiscent of the man we were
Filthy.
just talking about, Sean Johnson.
Yeah, filthy.
Bit of a run for his money in terms of best step after NASA's effort last week there. On the weekend, sorry. Awesome try. And then his little teammate joins in between those two big front row men. Harry Grant, another outstanding performance. Wasn't as, I suppose, effective in the State of Origin as Holmes and Coates there, but a couple of games of footy in a week and backing up with a huge performance for Melbourne.
Yeah,
Helped them down the Sea Eagles pretty comfortably.
Yeah,
on the end.
good on him, mate. Another couple of games in a week, you know, it's a big task.
Big effort, especially in the middle when you're the smallest bloke.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sure he froths these sorts of things, you know, the old double barrel nearly, I was going to say, the old double banger in a week. He's still young, Harry Grant, obviously. Has the legs to get out there and have a run around. But moving into that back three there now, three pretty solid names in here. Your two second rows, you've got Fafita and Nano. Two pretty awesome performances there on the weekend for those two.
Fafita, shout out to him, put up another bomb, I believe.
Did he?
Or fifth tackle kick.
Good on him. I hadn't
As we said
seen that.
earlier in the year, will pretty much automatically lock you into the team.
I hadn't seen that.
Forward, but I'm pretty sure I remember it.
We'll have to
Might have
have
just-
to scar through the old archives there and have a look.
Pretty sure he put up a fifth tackle kick. Might have been a
Come
little
on.
bit of a, we'll shift it here, and then it got out to Fafita, and then he thought, oh fuck, they've got me on the outside, I better
Just got to
put
put
on
it
the
up.
tie.
Yeah. No, good on him.
But yeah, a try and a try assist helping the Titans down the Bronx as well. Wasn't just the kicking performance that got him in.
And then Nana, off the back of that, making his way back into that Origin squad, obviously. And then coming out there on the weekend and having another really solid performance there for the Cows.
Yeah, look, 4 Queenslanders in the side backing up. No New South Welshmen.
Yeah.
In that team of the week there. In terms of Origin representatives at least. Interesting. Didn't even realise that until now. Lots of Queenslanders backing up, having good performances. Pretty typical, I would say. But rounding out the team of the week, Jermaine Hopgood, I believe another Queenslander. But yeah, just continues his rise there for Parramatta.
Yeah.
Another huge
Solid day.
performance.
Managed to get himself a media in my bet there, and it was Buddy Sebo of all the
Now,
blokes.
is that them into the top 4 this week? Or because I said it last week, it might have been
Must
them
be,
into
yeah.
the top 4, but
Must
I had
be.
another big one. No,
Seventh, dude. Wow.
One win off though. And they've got, you know, if they win and these other 3
They've also only
teams
had one bye,
lose, they've got points difference.
so they get another bye. The Sharkies have already had their 3
Because
byes.
that was a meme. It's not how you win them. It's how much. It's not how much you win them by. It's just if you win them. But they've only had 1 extra bye. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's fine.
Raiders and Para. About a 200 points difference swing there between the two sides. But yeah, on to the fixtures for the week, shall we?
Yeah, and good to have obviously another full round. We had 3 teams there off the bye last week, but full round of footy to sink your teeth into. What are we running? The usual schedule: Thursday, double bang on a Friday, Super Saturday, and a Sunday.
Yep,
Yeah.
I believe. I believe so.
Start us off there, bit of Thursday night action, Thursday night footy. Your lads travelling there to Cronulla, who are coming in off that bye, whereas your lads, I guess I'll say it so you don't have to say it, absolutely shellacked there by the Warriors. It was a shellacking, you've got that definitely right. Warriors are looking good. It pains me to say it, but they are playing some awesome footy. I think they're 2 points off the top of the table at the moment.
Yep.
Easily top 4 contender. I think the way that the season has gone for them as well, with just the way that the fans have been behind them and having, everyone's been behind them apart from me. So I think they get into into finals footy. They're going to be a hard team to beat. So I'm really hoping that if they do make it all that way through, that they can go out there and lose in the grand final. But they're looking good at the moment, and I think on the weekend it was probably quite a lot going around your boys. I think quite a lot of talk going around the Dragons at the moment with obviously everything there with Benny Hunt and in this little spoon battle there with the Tigs. It's not a good place to be in. So to get that added, what was it? I was going to say water to the fire, not water to the fire.
Fuel to the fire.
Fuel. It's just a bit more. Yeah, there you go. Fuel to the fire. Which is probably not what the Dragons need, I'd say, at the moment.
Yeah, it was a huge week in the headlines for the Dragons, obviously off the back of Benny Hunt's shock, release request. Maybe not so shocking if you consider the way the Dragons have been going and sacking Hook and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, it was always going to be tough for the Dragons to put that aside and come out and have a good performance this week with all of that distraction going on around the club. And yeah, like you said, the Warriors there couldn't be less distracted at the moment, zoned in on playing some awesome footy, and 48 points to 18.
A few good tries there.
Some awesome tries. They were looking very slick on attack.
I actually don't know. I'm lying to you here, sorry. I didn't really see any good bloody tries. I fucking slept through the whole thing, didn't I?
Yeah,
That's right.
I can't really say it was 100% the Warriors playing awesome footy.
The last thing I remember was Jackson Ford's try.
Good.
Jackson's Ford try in the 20th minute?
Yeah, it might have been quite early on. Can't remember.
It was. I didn't get to see much of it. I woke up with about 2 minutes to go.
He might have scored 2 because he scored a second try which was loose. It's the one where Dylan Walker caught the bomb and then he ripped it out of Dylan.
Yeah, that's the try I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that was 20th, but no.
Maybe I'd have been on a little doze there, possibly.
Have a look.
32nd.
32nd, yeah. I didn't think.
Oh yeah. So I did.
Yeah, 20th minute was the second.
But I might have been dozing throughout that, I believe.
It was a rough viewing for Dragons fans, that's for sure. Wasn't our best night defensively, particularly on the edges. DWZ, the main benefactor of that, running in 4 meat pies. But yeah, look, big news. I guess Dragons, for now, have denied Ben Hunt the release. Whether that's waiting it out till the end of the season and they'll revisit there, or they're waiting for player swap offers to come through. Who knows what eventuates there, but for now the Dragons have said they're standing firm, and Ben Hunt's going to be a player there for the rest of his contract. Whether that does eventuate or not doesn't seem very likely at this stage, but he's been named again, number 7 this week. And yeah, we're hoping for a big turnaround in fortunes, and we'll need it going out to Shark Park to face a Cronulla side who, they might have been up and down this year, but I think their down games come against, top 8 performers, and their up games come against bottom 8 performers.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be tough for you lads, I think.
We saw last time they ran in about 40 odd points against us. Nico Hines' first game back early on in the season. I wouldn't be surprised if it was similar. But come on, the Dragons. Hopefully we can turn things around.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. There was no way I was backing either team this week, unfortunately. There was no way I was backing your boys just due to
Just based on confidence
and needing to try and get a move on and catch up to you. And usually this game's probably one of those games where it's like kind of a shoe-in to try and bank on one with your go-to. So, but I couldn't go for the Sharkies either because Jesus, it was what, $1.10 I think it was.
Yeah, probably less than $2 for 13 plus as well.
Yeah, so I just got a few try scores in there and tried to get as close as I could to your odds there. Moylan, Kennedy, and Rava to cross the try line. $18.37. It's a handy little addition to the kitty if it comes off early on in the week. So that's what I'll be hoping for. A few tries.
Couple of Sharkies and
a
dragon.
Yep.
Ravalawa, yeah, definitely one of our best threats. So I like it in terms of value, but yeah, it doesn't quite reach the $21 that Dragons 13 Plus is offering this week. But I have to say, it is looking about as dire as those odds suggest to pick up a 13 plus win this week. Be very tough, but as I said, just stick to it and see how many units it picks me up over the year.
Oh, exactly.
The shitter we're playing, the more value it's going to offer us.
Exactly, and then when it does come off, you're going to be in the money. So,
oh shit, yeah.
These are two for the first game, both pretty high looking odds. We make our way into a bit of Friday footy. Now, Warriors up against the Bunnies, sold out.
Yep.
I've had a couple of people. I had somebody hit me up saying, "Hey, bro, you got a Warriors season pass, a season ticket. How am I going to get a ticket to the game? I don't have a season ticket, brother. Ain't no way I got a season pass, but sold out there in hot form and up against this Bunnies team who coming off a big loss in the end there up against the Cowboys, 31 points to 6. The fans are going to be out in full force. Unsure what the weather's going to be like for Friday, but it's been pretty shit up here in Auckland recently. So
apparently it's meant to be gale force winds.
Jesus, half the crowd might not even get there.
They might be blown away.
That's not exactly what I'm leaning towards, mate. That's the implications. Now, gale force winds. Jesus, you don't want to be sitting up there in the south stand. Maybe that's where the place to be. Actually, the south stand in there and huddled up together. Maybe get a bit of warmth from your neighbours.
Yeah.
Now the Warriors will be coming into this one full of confidence. I would imagine. 30-point win. We've just touched on them there a bit there, but scoring some good tries, playing some pretty good footy. They're all happy. They're enjoying their footy, and as Sean Johnson said the other day, they're all happy to have a base and be able to see their family and have somewhere that they can call home. So I think they'll be rolling into this one pretty confident, especially the way we saw the Bunnies perform there on the weekend. A Bunnies team without Latrell, different looking team.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big swing for the confidence of the side. They mentioned it a lot with that Origin build up. Do you name Latrell on the side? And Gordy kept saying, who's the bloke, if I'm a Queenslander, that I don't want to be lining up against for New South Wales if he's on hot form, and that's Latrell, let alone at an NRL level. So it makes a huge difference to that south side. And the last few weeks they have struggled a little bit. A loss to the Dragons last week, which was sort of almost papered over the cracks a little bit with that flurry of late tries. We had them well and truly beaten before that, which is not what you want if you are gunning for that top four as the Bunnies are. So it's a little bit of a game of mixed fortunes. The Warriors coming in with really, really hot form, and South coming in not so hot with one of their superstars apparently out till round 21. So
Jesus, that's not good for them, eh?
originally, what was meant to be a week or two injury there has turned into a little bit more of a problem for Latrell, which is annoying for him and the Bunnies there. But yeah, it's going to be a big game out at Mount Smart. It's going to be very, very tough for Souths to turn their form around with a hostile atmosphere for them.
It's not the game to try and turn. Not the game to be trying to turn your form around. I don't think this one. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. But if you do pull off a result, it's going to be really good for the morale, I think, and the lads will be up for it. Now, it doesn't happen very often that this occurs. I don't, and I've already put my bets on. I put my money on it. I don't know the last time I've actually put money on a Warriors game where I've had Warriors to win. Now I've gone Warriors 1-12 into Tohu Harris. It's going to get you 1975. Well, it's going to get me 1975. I am hoping. Not really much I can say. I can't believe I've actually gone out there and backed the Wires, to be fair. But we shall see. I guess we'll wait and see come Friday.
Surprising. Every now and then you got to pull away from your instincts.
You got to try something new every now and again. Yeah. Even if you do stick to what you know, everything was new once.
Yeah, you can't just have.
You know what I mean?
Look, otherwise, yeah, all you'd be doing is.
That looks nice. I'm going to test that out. You try it. You love it. You stick to what you know. When you first had it, you didn't know it.
Yeah, and also, I was going to say, imagine if you only ever stuck to what you know, you'd just be drinking milk.
Shits for days.
Yeah, it would be
shits for days. So,
yeah, fuck, I've got another bowl of milk for dinner.
Yep, beauty, we'll boil this up.
Fucking hell, you know? You get so sick of it. So yeah, it is nice to try something new every now and then. So the Warriors.
I don't like it.
The Warriors.
I can tell you already, I don't like it.
Look, if it hits, you'll be saying it's the one time that
it's the one and only. Yeah.
Slightly, you know,
against
not
my
hoping
morals
for it, but the what do you call it? The light at the end of the tunnel. The light of the.
It's bittersweet.
The silver lining.
Silver lining, not the light at the end of the tunnel.
That's a bit grim. That's death.
Well, no, the light at the light at the end. It's like.
Oh, that's going through the hard times.
I'm crawling. I'm struggling.
Now.
There we are. There I'm coming out of the pit. You know, like.
$19.75. That could be the light at the end of the tunnel.
It could be death if you had a shit life. It's the light at the end of the tunnel.
I see the light.
I see the light. I've had a shocker.
I'm a fucking coal miner and I'm in a tunnel.
Oh, I was watching bloody claustrophobia videos like that the other day. Jesus. Gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, not fun. Not fun. I hate watching this sort of
This is what happens when I put money on the Warriors. We start talking nonsense now.
Start dribbling. Now, my tip for the week. Souths 1-12 into DWZ to grab himself another meaty. Now, it's only offering $5.87, but that's because we can.
It's money in the bank, though.
We can almost lock in that DWZ try now.
I had to change mine up because it didn't really give me too much with him in there. I had him in there originally, so I went complete opposite way and chucked in someone with huge odds. But yeah, it's money in the bank, $5.87. There's nothing wrong with that.
We've seen him score a try at Mount Smart, Tohu Harris, up against the Tigs last year. So maybe he can, instead of this time breaking your heart, he can sort of make it that little bit lighter.
As long as they don't go out there and dick them 13 plus, that'd piss me off even more.
Yeah, that would be worse.
But that is our first game on Friday now, our second game on Friday. Pretty tasty looking matchup. Melbourne up against Penrith now. Melbourne coming off a pretty good looking win, I thought, up against Manly there on the weekend, winning by 18 points there, and Penrith coming off that win up against Newcastle. Now, as we said before, a little bit of drama coming out of the end of that one there with not even from that game, from the other.
That was your bet. Penrith 1-12.
That came off. That was my bet. So I've stuck with what I knew.
Nah, that's me.
Oh, that's you. Jesus.
I've gotten on the bandwagon.
I've upped it. But yeah, a little bit of drama coming out the back of that game from the other lad in this game, or the lads, a bunch of lads, the Storm. Now, I was really hoping that Ivan was going to go out there and say, hey, look, you
Peachey Co,
Peachey Co,
you're out there again.
You're out there again. We're going to rest them. We're going to rest the boys.
It doesn't matter if you go out there and get a 4-week ban.
Bash Christian Welsh.
Bash Christian Welsh for what he
And then when you get sin
there.
binned, walk off and look at Brother Me and like that to him.
Give him the one up. So
I reckon.
Give him.
So that's what. And then you whip out the old Spencer Leniute. I'm going to see you out in the car park.
Meet you in the car park.
To Craig Bellamy. And that's what I would have loved to have seen. It doesn't matter if they lose by 40 points. But you've gone out there and you've made a stand and said, we ain't going to fucking put up with this sort of nonsense coming away when you're at a press conference.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be aware of that sort of shit these days. Mike's always recording. So
there's always a hot mic somewhere.
Yeah, now it's going to be all on for this one here. It's two quality sides, two quality clubs coming up against each other. I mean, they've both had stages this year where they haven't been at their best, and they've both had stages where they've looked like they've been playing some pretty good footy. Obviously, as we've just spoke about there, the Penrith lads do have their full contingent back. Obviously, minus the main man himself.
Yep.
But the full contingent back apart from him. So it's going to be tough for Melbourne. I think they looked alright. I thought up against Manly. They played pretty well, but I thought Manly were also a little bit off their game and
missing their
their three men. Yeah, exactly. And hadn't signed Brooksy yet.
Yeah.
So
that'll be a huge lift for them this week.
Yeah,
I reckon.
I think they'll be. They've gone out there on a bit of a shopping spree. Brooksy, what is it? Jackson
Tommy Talau.
That's been kind of talked about for a month or two. Yeah. But yeah, a bit of a shopping spree. So maybe it not only lifts the morale around the club, but maybe also I don't know. Who knows how the players feel about it, but it might also put a bit of fire into some bellies. Get a few lads thinking, shit, I've got to get my A into G and try and pull some magic. So I think it should be a really good game. I guess maybe I am going a little bit outfield the way I'm looking at it here. I do think Penrith are probably going to be too strong. They've got that contingent back. I'm sure those lads will want to go out there and avenge Christian Welch's comments regardless, try and back up the little bros, be the big protective older brother for those boys running around there in New South Wales Cup.
Yeah, huge storyline obviously with what Walshy said, and like you said, they'll be wanting to come out and show them up. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one for Melbourne. I guess they do have that home advantage, which is one thing going for them. But I do see Penrith coming in hot. Are they top of the table off the back of
yes,
Bronx losing?
I believe so.
Back to the top. Yeah, back to the top for Penrith there.
Broncos do have a bye on them though.
Yeah, so Broncos have won one more game, but yeah, look, this Penrith side, they're obviously a bit of a juggernaut. Shout out to the juggernaut chair, out of shot, but anyone familiar with Hamana will be familiar with the old juggies. The Penrith chair, I suppose, you could start calling it. So I do expect them to march on and pick up a win. What is it, this Friday night down in Melbourne? But yeah, like I said, that home advantage will make things tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It is gonna be tricky. You're right. Oh Jesus Christ! I still think Penrith are probably too strong. I have gone Penrith 13 plus this week. I may be going a little bit out the gate there, I think, by going by that. But it is paying more than 1 to 12, and that is the way that you have gone. So, and again, it can kind of, it goes one way. If Penrith win, only one of us can come away with the win. So, makes the game a little bit more interesting if it's comes down to the wire. But that's your Friday night sorted.
$5.20 for you, $3.05 for me.
3.05. Sorry, did I say your price? I did say your price, did I?
I can't remember.
But yeah.
Just in
That's
case.
your Friday night sorted. 2 good games for Footy to sink your teeth into as we get our way into a bit of Super Saturday footy. Now, Canberra up against the Raiders. That's
Titans.
not correct. Sorry. Canberra are the Raiders.
Up against the Gold Coast Titans.
Yeah, the Raiders coming away with the close win up against the Roosters there on the weekend, and the Titans coming away with maybe a bit of a shock win there up against the Broncos.
Yeah, not too many were expecting that one.
No.
Obviously, anything can happen in a derby game. But yeah, the way the form guide was leaning, Brisbane were definitely hot favourites coming into that one up against their little brothers from down the road. But yeah, they'll come into this one carrying that form, the Gold Coast side. Star performance from Big Dave Fafita backing up from Origin. So yeah, good signs for the Gold Coast, but they come up against a side who are in a similar boat. Going well at the moment, trucking along very nicely. The old Canberra Raiders.
Sitting in there, sacked at the moment, I believe, on the table, but
yeah, a good win.
In big danger now. A couple of losses on the trot for them, and that can drop them all the way down to like 13th or 14th, I believe.
Yeah.
With that points differential there.
And to think they were 18-0 up in that one, up against the Chooks. It was a really good first half, potentially not the best second half from them, but they held the Roosters out, which is, as I said earlier, it's about a 100 or 200 points difference swing between them and Para, but they sit above Para on the table. So it is just if you win them, not how much you win them by. So yeah, Canberra they won't be minding if they pick up another win by 2 points last week, so long as they can avoid that trend of losses that we've seen over the last month or so.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, this one here. I don't really know which way that I'm sort of leaning towards.
It's a tough one
got
to pick.
2 teams, one there just on one side of the 8, one team just on the other side of the 8. Both teams obviously wanting to try and make their way that little bit further up the ladder. Obviously the Raiders try and solidify that spot, and the Titans trying to make their way into the 8. Now, I think the Raiders, we did at the start of the season, we were a bit unsure about whether or not they were going to find some good form, but they had that really good run there. What was it, 6 on the trot, 5 on the trot, I think it was, where they were playing some really hot footy. I just feel like, I think the Titans coming off that game, like you said, they were up, 18, it was 18-6 at halftime. That's what Brad said, I think, before when we were listening. He did buzz in, I'm pretty sure.
The Gold Coast side? Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, no. 18-6.
18-6.
Yeah. Manu scored right on the...
So, for them to only come away with a win by 2 points there, I think the Raiders might be a little bit worried defensively, and I think the Titans managing to get away with that win there against the Broncos will be coming into this one possibly with that little bit more confidence. Even though the position they're in on the ladder, I think they'll be coming into this one wanting to attack Canberra. They'll be wanting, their big boys, Mofo, Fafita, Tino to be running some good hard lines and just trying to tire out that Canberra squad, I'd say, and then let those blokes out wide, Kyle Pereira, get Jaden Campbell involved in there, trying to run through some tired pack. I think the Titans might just edge them in this one.
Yeah, the Titans, if they've got a fully fit side as well, they've got a really good side. Had a few injuries this year, but they've started to, obviously Brimson back into the side playing really good footy, and yeah, those Tino will be back into the side after missing last week, would you believe? Able to get the win over the Bronx without Tino. It's a pretty good sign. So yeah, I think you're right. The Gold Coast side come in possibly not as favourites, just with that home advantage with the bookies. But
I think they were.
I don't think so, because just because Canberra's at home. So if we go,
I feel like they were. Maybe look to the right there.
There's an eye there.
Nah, not at all.
Raiders
Not at all.
favourite. Just probably based on that home advantage, but yeah, I wouldn't rule out Gold Coast coming away with that win in this one.
Yeah, that's the way I've managed to go. Well, that's the way I've gone this week. I've gone for a close one. Titans coming away with a 1-12. Dropped the odds down a bit from my previous few there. Just $3.35 coming in if this one comes off, but it will have to hopefully come off to try and make my way up that ladder, and you'll be hoping for a different team celebrating there in the end with a little Canberra 1-12 into Jaden Campbell to cross the try line.
Yep, 11.79. That'll bring me in. Yeah, just chuck a opposition fullback in. Been a little bit of a theme of mine these last few weeks, but I think I'm yet to pull that off. But yeah, I like the looks of this one. Oh, Campbell might not even be lining up at fullback. He might be lining up at 6. So.
You might be checking on something new.
Might be finding that perfect little tweak this week. Who knows? But we go into the Cows, North Queensland Cowboys, taking on your West's Tigers.
Yeah, those Cows coming off that solid win there. Maybe a bit of a shock, like we said, up against the Bunnies, and my Tigers coming in off a bye, and I think coming in really off the big news of Brooksy going to Manly, being announced that he'll be off there for next year, and a couple of years after that. Now, I'm sure it'll shake up a little bit. It's not going to change too much, I don't think, really, for this week. It probably shakes up a few things around the club, but for this week we weren't going to have him anyway. Obviously he's injured at the moment, and I think the main thing here will be that the Cowboys will be out for revenge for that big
66-18.
Yeah, 48 points. 48 point drubbing earlier on in the season. So I think, yeah, it's going to be tough for our Tigers here to come away with anything, really. We've good to see Dane Laurie back, named there at 6 to play with Brandon Wakeham. Been playing there at 6 in New South Wales Cup, so it'll be good to see how he goes. I know he was also linked with Melanie there, I believe. They were keen to get him in there until the end of the season. Yep,
they'll be looking for a fullback, obviously off the back of Tommy's pec injury. But I suppose they've got a couple of internal candidates as well there at Manly, the likes of Kyle Weeks and Ruben Garrick has filled in there before. Cole has done it for Tonga, I believe.
Yeah, I think he has.
Possibly even Manly once or twice early on in his career.
Might have started off there
when Tommy was
might have been injured, yeah.
When he was injured, and maybe Garrick was injured as well.
Yeah, possibly, actually, you're right.
Last couple of years ago, but yeah, they haven't managed to sway Dane Laurie yet. He's back in the West starting lineup this week, and who knows if he goes well in that 6 jersey.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be watching him.
Could be his for next year,
They dropped DCE to DCE. Oh, you mean it could be
I'm
6
saying
for?
Dan Laurie could be your 6
I
next
thought
year.
you were saying he might go to Manly.
And that solves half's problem.
He might go to Manly. They dropped DCE to 14, and then they play Laurie and Brooks at 6 and 7.
No.
With DCE running off the bench.
I'm saying Laurie goes well at 6 for West Tigers this week. Benji
Gotcha. I thought it was about...
Yeah, he's going well.
I thought it was a little bit far-fetched from you, brother.
No. Dane Laurie's staying at West and nailing down that number 6 jersey potentially.
Okay.
Just need to bring
R.I.P.
the half
Adam
back.
Dewey. Don't forget about Adam Dewey. He's still there.
He's still there, but very, very unlikely that he'll be back in the side to start the year next year.
Definitely not.
So
Won't be till later on the year, I don't think.
a mid-season return at earliest for Dewey there, but who knows? Dane Laurie's got the jumper for this week, and Adam Dewey's not coming back to take it off him anytime in the immediate future. So hopefully he goes well for you guys. But yeah, you're right. It's going to be tough. North Queensland, they'll be looking for that revenge. They're coming in playing some awesome footy. 4 or 5 members of their squad on that emotional high of having clinched an Origin series in front of their home fans at Brisbane there. Would have been a good experience for them. So yeah, they'll be ready to make this charge for that final portion of the season now that winning Origin's out of the way. Up in Townsville, it's always a very tough road trip.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough for us, I think, this one.
I suppose it is the middle of winter, so that's one reprieve. Not too much of a winter in Townsville.
We've got nothing to lose. I think that's the main thing going into this one. They've got it all to play for, coming into this bit of form, and we've got nothing to lose apart from, coming dead last. So I think if we can go out there and try and play with a little bit of confidence, but it is going to be hard. I said I wasn't going to get off this until it comes off, and it's still yet to come off. Tigers 1-12 into Jari and Buller. It's going to get you $13.28 now. Must be have got on it for about 7 or 8 weeks now, and it's yet to come off. Either the scores and we don't win, or we win by 13. That happened once. So maybe I should have gone 13 in this game here up against the Cows, where we did previously do that. But 1-12 into Buller, 13.28. My heart would love it to come off, but my head says that I've thrown my money down the drain.
Yeah, look, I can see a world that one comes off. North Queensland are a little bit off the punch, and West have a good game up there, but it will be tough. So yeah, I haven't. Brooksy, as we said, injured this week, so I'm unable to stick to my guns in terms of that bet. So I have switched it up a bit. Cows to win into Nanai and Holmes to cross the stripe any time. That's going to get you $5.26.
Not bad at all. A good way to, I was going to say finish off your Saturday, but it's not finishing off your Saturday. We do have another game to get into, and that is the Broncos up against the Dolphins for your last game of your Saturday.
Yeah, another Queensland derby on the cards to round out our Saturday.
After having a little break of Queensland derbies, and we said it last week, we were back into them. 2 in a row there for Brisbane, up against the Dolphins here. So, and obviously, coming off the back of the loss in their last Queensland derby, they'll be hoping to bounce back for this one here, up against this Dolphins team who just seem to be slowly falling away after that hot start to the season there.
Yeah, I mean, if there is a game that is going to spur them back into form, it is this one. Now, interesting to see if Reece Walsh cops a ban. Okay, nothing yet. They're just still going back and forth, so may have to do a little bit of of change-ups to my tip later on, but Reece Walsh in a bit of hot water after potentially swearing at the referee. Only he really knows truly who he was speaking to.
A little bit dubious there. He obviously got himself into a little bit of trouble after also landing himself in a bit of hot water there on Wednesday night.
Yep, a little bit of a fiery end to State of Origin featuring him, Josh Adokar and Jerome Luai there that we didn't really mention before.
He's been in the news, that's for sure, old Reece.
It's been a big week for Reece.
He'll be hoping that he can come away from this one scotch-free, hopefully. And hopefully get out there for the Broncos and try and lead them to a little bounce back. Obviously the Dolphins coming up against a pretty hot looking para team, the most informed team at the moment, I believe, only team 5-0.
Dolphins ran in the first try and then Para ran in like 42 unanswered points in that first half.
Yeah, unreal, eh?
Crazy game, that one.
So the Broncos will be coming into this one knowing that the Dolphins are struggling defensively. They've obviously been shipping a few points, so if they can keep it tight and they can get a few good plays into the belt, if Reece Walsh is there, I'm sure that'll be a big plus for them.
Last time it was an awesome game with the Broncos snatching it through a Katoni Staggs intercept late.
Oh, I'd like that. It'll help me out a little bit this week in terms of the way that I've gone. But I think it should be a really good game. I am picking the Broncos to bounce back. I think they will be wanting to try and come back with a little bit more than they showed in that last game they're up against the Titans.
Yeah, they certainly will. Kevy had a lot to say. But sounded very disappointed in that post-match conference. I don't know if you heard his comments. Regarding Ben Hunt.
Yeah.
If they're going to sign him, don't know if he'd want to come here.
Yeah.
To see those blokes play today.
Yeah.
He'll be gearing them up for a big bounce back for this one, and up against one of his main old coach there, Wayne Bennett. So, we spoke about it last time, the old master versus apprentice. The apprentice got one up on him earlier in the season. It's going to be tough for the master to pull it off with the cattle that he's got compared to Kevy at the Bronx, but he is the master for a reason. Wayne Bennett, the GOAT. One of the GOATs, I suppose. So I suppose that's one thing that plays into the Dolphins' favour, but not too many others in recent history. And for that reason, we've both tipped Brisbane to win.
Yeah.
I've gone Brisbane 1-12 into Reece Walsh to score a try. $8.95. That's going to get you. Now, dubious whether I'm going to have to edit that one and choose somebody else ex post, maybe tomorrow, and just edit that into above. See what happens.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. Now I've gone 13 plus. I've gone a couple of try scores. Katoni Staggs, like you said, that intercept try there. It'd be nice to see a repeat of that again. And then Payne Haas to cross the try line, the big boy. It's going to get you just under $22, $21.91. And that'll sign off your Saturday. Now, we get into a bit of Sunday footy. We've got the double banger. The Doggies up against the Knights. Now, Doggies coming off a bye there. They were one of the three to have the bye and sort of make their way away from the two of us at the bottom of the table there. And the Knights losing to that Peachey Co.
Exactly.
Losing to Peachey Co, the Knights. Now, we saw what Christian Welch had to say there. How did the Knights lose this one here? Penrith had no one. Obviously, plenty of people have spoke about it. We've spoke about it before. We know with the systems that are in place there in Penrith and the players that they've got coming through. And, we saw a little bit of that Penrith New South Wales Cup game last week, and you sort of said most of those lads are playing first team this week, so this isn't even the New South Wales Cup team, and we saw how good some of those lads were. A couple of fellas on debut who looked unreal. So we know the systems that they've got in place there, and we know what they can come out and do. And the Knights haven't really been playing their best footy this year. They're sort of also lingering down there near the bottom. That draw is the only thing they're keeping them ahead of the Doggies in this one. I'm not too sure about points difference there possibly as well, but it's an interesting one because both teams will be sort of helping that little last glimmering bit of hope of cracking on and maybe making a late push for the 8. Probably comes down to this one here. If the Knights can get a win, obviously they're in that handy position of having that extra point there, which could come down to it at the end of the season there. It's a tough one to pick, I reckon.
Yeah, that extra point could come back to really help them in the end, be the difference, or could come back to sting them, the Knights. They'll both be hoping, if they want to make that charge for the 8, as you said, to kick things into gear this week. Round 17, not too many rounds left. Certainly more been than to come. So, yeah, both sides definitely not sitting where they'd want to be. They need to make a charge sooner rather than later. So it's a good chance for them this week. They'll both fancy their chances, I believe. The Doggies at home. Yeah, they've shown some fight at stages this year. Possibly not living up to the pre-season hype of all the signings they managed to bring in. But we have spoken about the number of injuries they've had over the year and other factors like that. And then, yeah, Newcastle, I don't think many were possibly tipping them to do a heck of a lot this year, but at stages they've looked pretty good. At other stages, not so good. So, yeah, look, makes for an interesting game if we see the best of both sides. Could be a bit of a poo slinger if we see the worst of both sides.
Yeah, it could be. I think you're right. If we can see the best of some of those players out there, then we might be in for a nice tight matchup. Tight is the way I'll be hoping. Now I've gone, pardon me, the Knights to win in a close one, 1-12 into their try scoring machine. Dom Young, just to juice it up that little smidgen more. $4.35, nice and easy that one there for me this week.
I like it. It's not huge value, but a couple of almost locks there. I've gone Newcastle to win, into Ponga to cross the stripe, $3.07. So not quite as much value there, but I guess Newcastle could come out there and smash them, and I'd still be in the running.
Yeah, exactly. That's your first game. We get ourselves into the last game of the round, our last game of our Sunday. And we have the Manly Seagulls up against the Roosters. Now, Manly obviously coming off the back of that loss to the Storm there, 24 points to 6. And the Roosters also coming off the back of that loss there, that 2-point loss up against the Raiders. Now, Manly were without their main 3, like we said, and they'll now be without their main man, I guess, in Turbo for a little while longer, with Tommy out with the pec injury. How long do one of these pecs go for? Quite a wee while, eh?
Yeah, I know Tommy's ruled out for the rest of the season.
Jesus.
I'm not sure I think Sean O'Sullivan did one early in the year and he's just coming back from it now. So it's probably like a 2 or 3 month
Not what you want to be getting yourself involved with.
The old torn pec, and then you throw in the fact it is Tommy Turbo. It's horribly unlucky for the bloke. But yeah, it's another season cruelly ruled out through injury, but Manly will have to soldier on without him. They've tried in vain to bring in the likes of Dane Laurie, even Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, but Siebes has confirmed he's not available for release, I believe. New Zealand Rugby seem to be, I guess, holding on to him, which is bizarre considering he hasn't made the All Blacks squad.
Makes sense,
it just doesn't make any sense. Although, as Foster said, it isn't the World Cup squad, it is the whatever it is,
Rugby
championship
Championship.
squad. But I don't know how you force your way from not being in the Blues game day 23 into the All Blacks World Cup squad. So a bizarre one, but yeah, I guess Manly will be without Tommy, without Dane Laurie, without Roger, RTS. Yeah, up against the Roosters side. I think they'll fancy their chances though, the way the Chooks have been playing this year. Obviously, still stacked with the superstars, but look, Tedesco, I don't know if he's struggled for, like, it's not really confidence because he's still getting stuck in and running for plenty of metres. He's just not having that, that oomph, that punch that he usually does, popping up with line breaks and try assists and tries. Seems to be getting out-jumped for a couple of high balls, which you wouldn't really pick the Australian captain and fullback to be getting out-jumped too often.
Oh, there's plenty of talk around Tedesco at the moment, isn't there, about
he's struggling, that's
what's
for
going
sure.
on there with Teddy and the rest of the Roosters there. And I think you're right. I think the Manly will be confident they can get a result here in this one. If I haven't looked at the lineup there, I'm guessing Cole has been named at 1.
Let's have a look, shall we? It might be Kyle Weeks.
Yeah.
That's what they've been going with when he was out earlier. Wait. Garrick.
Okay, yep.
So Ben's on the bench. Cool. Parker back? Yeah, I thought so. He hasn't been playing. So that's a big in for Manly. He's an awesome defensive centre, I think. Brad Parker pops up with a good play every now and then on the attack too. And again, a redhead. We've seen how well Canberra's redhead's going this year.
Yeah, exactly. Old Brad Parker there back into the squad. So I think Manly will be confident. I found it hard to sort of pick this week. They were both...
It's hard to pick a result.
Dead evens. I nearly went for my old golden point here, but I just don't think this one's got the same feel about it. Now watch it go out there and happen probably now, and it'll even be a bloody draw or something. But I've just chucked a couple of try scorers in there. Olakau'atu and Radley to both cross the try line. $13.92. I'm pretty happy with that if it comes off.
It's not too shabby in terms of value. Olakau'atu seems to score a try every other week. Scored one last week. And then, Victor Radley coming back obviously last week from a suspension. He'll be hoping to string a few good performances together. I like it. I've put a result in mind, even though I'm not very confident in either side here, but Manly 1-12 into Ruben Garrick and Joey Manu, both to cross the stripe there, and that's going to get you $18.71. So good value when you pick a couple of try scorers into a small margin, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. And they could both come off. We could both finish our Sundays happy chappies, but it does round off our round of NRL. It does leave the Eels there with the bye. Come to the bye in some very good form, as I said before. The informed team at the tournament at the moment, 5 on the trot.
Picking up another 2 points this week.
Now playing some really, really good footy. Obviously Moses coming in back into that team there last week. Confident, having played a very good game there for New South Wales.
Racked up his 1,000th point for Parramatta as well.
A big milestone for him there. So they'll be coming in, they'll be putting their feet up, having a bit of a rest. Who knows, they might be off to Bali, they might be, I'm sure they'll probably just be cruising, watching a bit of the Ashes maybe.
Watching a bit of the footy.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Putting themselves into rest and relaxation mode, maybe just for a couple of days just to recuperate, Mid-season rest, get the body going again. I don't know, they may just kick on through, who knows. I've never been in a in the Parramatta era setup. I don't know whether Brad Arthur's going to let the lads have a little couple of days rest.
I'm sure he's pretty happy with the way things are going.
I think he would be with 5 on the trot.
He'd be giving them a couple of days off, I'd say.
Go and put your feet up. But that does wrap up our NRL. Now, we've only got a little bit of other sports going on and around us at the moment in terms of what we tune ourselves into. Now, the Arsenal hasn't been too many changes. It looks like we've had the habits locked in.
Seems to be
65. I've seen a leaked photo of him in an Arsenal shirt, so looks like it's there already.
Taken the number 29 kit, which I believe is free. Don't know. That's his number.
Yeah.
So apparently that's
29. It must be.
Yeah. Looks like it's all but been announced by the official parties. So expect that, I suppose, over the coming couple of days.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was like tonight/tomorrow morning that it comes out announced.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think we said what we thought last week. Possibly not the signing that all Arsenal fans envisioned. Definitely not when you look at what went wrong for us in the run-in last year. But I do see a few good points about it that have sort of started to change my mind a little bit and start to get a bit more excited. Obviously still a very young player, only 23, 24 I believe.
Yeah.
A shitload of experience at the top level. Similar sort of, obviously didn't come through at Real Madrid as a 15 or 16 year old like Martin Odegaard did, but he's been playing at that top level for a number of years now. He's experienced. He's been involved in that German national team. Won the Champions League, scored the winning goal in the final.
Yeah, he's not around.
Doesn't put himself in that class of Benzema, Messi, Ronaldo, obviously, that top echelon player. But he's got the talent within him, and I think if Arteta wants him this much, it's got to mean something, because we've seen what he's been able to do to a number of players since he's taken the reins at the arse, and hopefully he can do similar things if we do end up seeing him play a big role at the Arsenal over the next few years.
Yeah. Now, I guess the man that everyone is hoping to see put on this Arsenal shirt is Declan Rice. Now, we've seen just earlier on a bid for Declan Rice has been rejected by West Ham from City now, 90 mil. So I guess it's all coming down to who is prepared to pay the most money up front by the looks of things. We've both looked at doing it in slightly different instalment versions.
I think the rumours are Arsenal are offering 75 plus 15, and then City have had 80 plus 10 rejected. So, yeah, hopefully Arsenal can come out on top in this little bidding war. Hopefully we can go out there and snap him up over the next couple of days over City. But it is difficult once City get involved. Obviously off the back of Gundogan announcing his departure, moving to Barcelona there.
Obviously a player that's sort of been there for a wee while now there for City, Gundogan, and he's
it was Pep's first signing.
First signing, was it? Wow, that's pretty awesome, eh?
Yeah.
So he's definitely been there for a wee while. Good signing there for Barca, that one there.
It's an awesome signing, and it's worrying because you thought, where does he get into that City side? But now that Gundogan is officially locked in, he's not going to be there. They're going to be looking for someone to come into their midfield to take that role. And look, if it's Man City versus Arsenal in terms of financial power, and what looks like a a more attractive team in terms of trophies you could win in the near future. Potentially Man City do pull this one out from under our noses, but we'll be hoping that what we've also heard, that Declan Rice wants that move to Arsenal, and the fact that we were in that slightly bit earlier, hopefully now we go, alright, we've had our first bid rejected, first couple of bids, we've fluffed around, now City are in, let's go in and just get them before we fucking have to fluff around for another 3 or 4 weeks trying to find another backup plan. So yeah, fingers crossed we can come across some good news on that front. Always nervous when it's Arsenal in a bidding war, because how many times over the last, since we moved to the Emirates,
we put in some silly offer and then get out,
and then some other club comes in with a serious offer, and it's like, oh fuck, he goes and becomes a superstar for them. We don't want to see that happening with Declan Rice again. Obviously, we were a bit lucky with the Mikhailo Mudryk and Saicedo situations. We were able to find Trossard and Jorginho to come in and possibly do, particularly in Trossard's situation, a better job. But definitely don't want to be missing out on this one here.
Yeah, no, not at all. So like you said, hopefully we'll bring you some news on that soon. We have had a little bit of cricket happening over on the English shores there. The Ashes has been on.
I believe we left last week at the end of day 4's action.
Yeah, and I think that's the only part of the action that I'd actually seen, I believe. I haven't seen much of what happened there, but I know that the Aussies did come away with the win in the end.
Yeah, good win, dramatic style. They're saying it's going down as one of those tests for the ages. It was very even throughout, and I think England had the upper hand, possibly more than Australia, but they managed to pull it out of the fire, chasing down that last 50 or 60. I think it was a 55-run partnership there between Captain Fantastic Pat Cummins and Nathan Lyon. So yeah, the final day heroes from Australia's point of view there, but Uzi Khawaja, man of the match. Now, a very rare feat he achieved, batted in every single day of a test match.
Yeah, 5 days that he made an appearance on there, which is a pretty cool stat to have in your bag. I think have many people done that before.
Yeah, I don't think it would happen very often, because you don't often get a team that would declare in day one. You might get a side get sent into bat and get bowled out on day one, and then the opener comes in at the end of day one. But it's not often then that a test would go for 5 days.
Yeah.
Or you'd have your opener still batting in day 5 in that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Chasing down a target after a team's been bowled out on day one. It's just the fact that I think England went so hard on day one, got that nearly 400 and then declared, that he was able to do it. And obviously some awesome batting, 141 in the first, 65 in the second. So a couple of 100 runs in a test is always pretty handy, especially when you're doing it in England as an opener. One of the toughest places to go and open the batting, especially when they've got Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad running in at you in their home conditions, when they've racked up over 300 tests worth of experience between them or something ridiculous like that. But yeah, I think second game starts tomorrow night. Had a little bit of a extended break as they made the trip from Birmingham down to London.
Okay. On the team bus maybe, in the traffic.
Yeah, potentially.
Give it a couple extra days, Jesus.
Potentially. So yeah, that one starts up tomorrow night, I believe. So if you're into a little bit of late night cricket viewing, that'll be front and centre, I'm sure, on your agenda. But pretty rough for those.
It won't be for me, mate. I can tell you that. I'm bloody yawning away. I'm looking forward to the school holidays. I'm definitely on. I
might tune in for a bit on Friday, Saturday night, potentially Sunday. But yeah, look. Unlikely I'm going to be tuning in tomorrow night. Thursday night we've got the Dragons game. So yeah.
I'll be lucky to be awake by the time the Ashes starts tomorrow, I believe.
I don't know how many of you will be tuning in though.
But
yeah,
we had a dart-free weekend over the weekend. There was nothing on of notice. We had a little bit of senior darts. I believe Leonard Gates took the senior darts. I can't remember what the tournament was in the end, but we do have some darts up this weekend, and it is the match play. There we go. The Intermittent European Darts match play. Now I haven't actually even seen the bracket here at all. No, it doesn't look like
they've announced that.
It doesn't look like they've announced who's playing yet, but June the 30th to this July the 2nd, so on over the weekend there'll be some darts to sink your teeth into.
Where is it?
Arena Trier, I believe, in Germany, I would say. Yeah. So a little bit of darts to get your teeth into before they travel to Poland next week. But the following month in New Zealand, they will be here on our shores, so not too long to go before that. That's probably us.
Yeah.
As always, if you've made it this far, thank you for tuning in. Remember to give us a like, a 5-star, a comment, give us a subscribe, whatever you may do on your socials there. Enjoy your week ahead, enjoy all your sports, enjoy your footy over the weekend. And if you're having a punt, remember to do so responsibly, and hopefully we will see you here next week.
Sounds good to me. See you then.
Ciao.
Marshall skips away, Marshall's still going, Marshall's got Richards coming up outside, now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.